All right, well, we've had count them, two Little Did I Know road trips in the last 2 weeks. This week, it's our final journey. So far, we've been to
the Dry River Canyon.
Not a dry river canyon, the Dry River Canyon.
Last week, we went to Hole in the Ground.
Not a hole in the ground, the hole in the ground.
And this week, we're making the leap about 2 hours southeast of here, about 40 miles from Hole in the Ground. We find something also appropriately named.
Crack in the ground is really fun to play around in because it's a huge crack in the ground. I think in terms of helping us understand our world, the most useful thing is it's a terrific example of what we call basin and range extension.
Okay, so extension. Little did I know until today what that really meant. But a crack in the ground, it's everywhere. But it's not the only place you'll find it. Far from it.
So throughout the American Intermountain West, basically like Utah, all of Nevada, Eastern California, Southeastern Oregon, the Earth is being slowly pulled apart. We call that extension.
Now, I'm no geologist, but I did live through a 7.0 on the Richter scale earthquake in California, and when I hear the word extension tied to geology, I start to feel a little squirrely.
That's got a bunch of interesting consequences. One is more volcanism. Basically, you thin the Earth's crust. It makes it easier for the rocks underneath to melt and then erupt as volcanoes. So that's where a lot of the volcanism in southeastern Oregon comes from, including the volcanism that we see at Fort Rock and Hole in the Ground.
Now, Fort Rock and Hole in the Ground were hydrological volcanoes, but crack in the ground was formed by a crack in the ground. In other words, extension.
The other thing that it does is when you pull the Earth apart, it literally creates cracks in the ground. So that crack in the ground used to be sealed up and then it got ripped apart.
So what can you expect to see if you take a trip to crack in the ground besides a crack in the ground?
So when you're walking through crack in the ground, you're looking up at a lava flow on either side of you and you can just puzzle piece those lava flows back together. So that's all extension that's been created right there.
And when you look really close, you get to see way back in the history of the Earth. Imagine what it'd be like if these walls could talk.
I think mentally putting the pieces back together of this lava flow that you're walking through that's been split apart, I think that's really cool. And then just understanding that separation that you're seeing, apply that on a continental scale. You know, Nevada's like twice as big as it was 15 million years ago because of all this extension that's been happening in the basin and range.
Okay, so we figured out that this crack was made by extension, but knowing what caused it and how quickly the extension took is not fully known.
There's two different models to think about it, and I don't know which one's correct. One is that it's a tectonic plate, moving at the rate your fingernails grow thing. So every year, maybe a millimeter further apart, a millimeter further. The other is it represents one or two big earthquakes. And in one earthquake, you can split the Earth by 2 meters, absolutely. So both are possibilities.
The other great mystery about crack in the ground is it's hard to crack exactly how old it is.
As far as when it happened, that's not very well constrained. We know it's younger than about 750,000 years old because the lava flow that it split apart is about 750,000 years old. Whether it happened 1,000 years ago or 740,000 years ago, we're not sure. So that's why I got him crack in the ground.
For Central Oregon Daily News, I'm Scott Elnis.